In a storm of swords, Catelyn Stark's corpse is thrown into a river in mockery of Tully tradition. The body is later removed by Nymeria, who is scared off by the Brotherhood without banners. When Beric discovers Catelyn's corpse, he implores Thoros revive her, but Thoros refuses. Beric himself then decides to perform the last kiss on Catelyn, passing the flame of life from himself to her. He dies as a result, but Catelyn is revived, or at least some part of her, the part that is vengeful and hateful. She is no longer the woman that she was. Catelyn Stark's return is revealed in the epilogue of A Storm of Swords, through the point of view of a man called Merritt, a drunk and a Frey who was present during the Red Wedding. He is led into a trap by the Brotherhood, now led by Catelyn. No, I saw her die. She was dead for a day and a night before they stripped her naked and threw her body in the river. Raymond opened her throat from ear to ear. She was dead. Her cloak and collar hid the gash his brother's blade had made, but her face was even worse than he remembered. The flesh had gone pudding soft in the water and turned the color of curdled milk. Half her hair was gone, and the rest had turned white and brittle as crones. Beneath her ravaged scalp, her face was shredded skin and black blood where she had raked herself with her nails. But her eyes were the most terrible thing. Her eyes saw him, and they hated. Upon confirming that Merritt is a Frey, Catelyn condemns him to be hanged. A Storm of Swords ends here, and Catelyn, who is later referred to by many names, doesn't officially show up again until the end of A Feast for Crows. Throughout the fourth book, there is mention of a woman who now leads the Brotherhood without banners. Some call her the Silent Sister because she is said to be robed in gray like the women who are sworn in service to the stranger. She is also called Mother Merciless and the Hanged Woman. Jaime Lannister hears rumors of Stoneheart whilst in the Riverlands, though he does not take the claim seriously. And Stoneheart is also mentioned in passing to Brienne by Randyll Tarly. When Brienne is captured by the Brotherhood at the end of A Feast for Crows, even she finds herself at the mercy of Mother Merciless. Back in A Storm of Swords, Catelyn put Brienne in charge of escorting Jaime to King's Landing in exchange for her daughters. Of course, when Brienne and Jaime arrived, Arya and Sansa were nowhere to be found. Jaime gave Brienne a Valyrian steel sword called Oathkeeper and sent her on another quest to search for Sansa. However, Catelyn Stark does not believe Brienne's tales. She views Brienne as a traitor and orders her and Podrick to be hanged. But as Brienne is hanging, she manages to utter one word: sword. You see, Brienne is being presented with a choice: the noose or the sword. To die or to serve the merciless killer Stoneheart and slay Jaime Lannister. She says that you must choose. Take the sword and slay the Kingslayer, or be hanged for a betrayer. The sword or the noose, she says. Choose, she says. Choose. She took a ragged breath and said, I will not make that choice. There was a long silence. Then Lady Stoneheart spoke again. This time Brienne understood her words. There were only two. Hang them, she croaked. In the end, she chooses to serve, which makes it all the more interesting when Brienne shows up again in A Dance with Dragons to lead Jaime into the woods. Is Brienne leading Jaime to his doom? This is the last we see of either Brienne or Jaime. If Brienne is taking Jaime to Stoneheart, then it would most certainly be a death sentence for him. Jaime is responsible for the very act which set many events in motion, Bran's fall from the tower. Stoneheart knows he is responsible, and will likely show him no mercy. After all, she did send Brienne to kill him. One part of Catelyn that seems to have survived death is her fierce love of her children. At the time of Lady Stark's death, in her mind, Bran and Rickon were dead. Arya was likely dead, and Sansa was in the hands of the worst people imaginable. She saw her firstborn son killed right in front of her. The first time Brienne sees Stoneheart, she is holding Robb Stark's crown, another sign that she bears a deep resentment for the loss of her family. Robb's crown here represents the future that was stolen from them. I believe it's important not to separate Stoneheart from Catelyn. Stoneheart is merely who Catelyn evolves to be as a character. She started this series off as a mother and a wife who planned to live out the rest of her days behind the walls of Winterfell. Instead, due to the actions of others, and some of her own mistakes as well, she ends up having it all taken from her. I think that Stoneheart is also meant to show us just how much death can truly change a person. We have other examples like Beric, but Catelyn, who was brought back after being dead for 3 days, is void of nearly all humanity. This, in my opinion, may have devastating implications for characters that may be brought back later in our story. At the end of the day, Stoneheart is the continuation of Catelyn's story. Obviously, George R. R. Martin has plans for the character's future. He has set her up as the leader of the Brotherhood without banners, which gives her a significant amount of power in the Riverlands, which is where Catelyn was born. She is also undead, which leads to urban legends and myths surrounding her. So even though she is not seen on screen a lot, you are made aware of her presence. Essentially, she is the perfect horror fantasy character. And in my opinion, she should have never been cut from the HBO series. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire.